Hello and welcome to the new player series for Crusader Kings 2. So last time we were in this war down in Barcelona where we lost all of our men, and that was unfortunate, but if we have a look at our army in our military tab here, we'll see that we have about half of our vassals' armies back and about a quarter of ours back. So if we wait a little bit, our army levies will replenish and we will be able to declare wars again. So that's a positive. Negative side, our allies likely to lose their war. Okay, so what are we going to do while we're at peace? We can't go declare wars, we can't do any of that stuff. Well, we're going to just look at the 5 things at the top here. First one is weak claims can be pressed. So, if we click on that, we'll see it's on France, right? So, why can we still press a weak claim on France? Because previously, we thought it was because this guy was in a regency. He's 16 now, he's not in a regency. Why can we still press it? Well, he's not a female ruler, so that one's obviously out. He's not in a regency. He's not in a claim or succession war. We'll see that the only war he's in is a de jure war over Zealand. So it must be that we are second or third in line to inherit the throne, which is news to us, isn't it? So let's have a look here. Hover over the Kingdom of France. We'll see that it goes Hugh Capet. So this is this guy. Then you suspect it would go to his next one, to his brother, but you see Hugh Capet is our cousin. This guy is not our cousin. This is because he is a half-brother of the King of France. This is the King of France's mother's child in her second marriage. So, he's not in the line of succession. Next one is Henri. That is us. We can see this here if we click on House Capet. We'll go along here. It goes Philip. Actually, let's have a look here. Line of succession. Agnatic Primogenitor. So, Philippe skips Emma, because agnatic means it's only males. Goes to Hugh. Goes up here to after Hugh, it would go up here to Henri. It would skip our aunt. Then it would go on to Robert, our father. It would go down, go to the first son. It goes to us. So that's why we're second in line to inherit the Kingdom of France. Now, you'd think the best thing to do would kill the next 2 people. We're laughing, right? We're in charge. Well, if we choose a plot, and we go to kill the King of France, we'll see it shows us initial plot power and possible plot power. I suppose I should do that a little bit slower. Under here, on the person you want to kill's page, you can go to choose a plot, and then you can go and kill them that way. You can say, I want to do a plot to kill the King of France, or you can right click on a portrait and you can go plot to kill. Either way works. Now this shows that we have initial plot power of 26.3% and a possible plot power of 31%. I'll talk about what that means in just a second, so we'll say do it. So now, if we go to the Intrigue tab and go to My Plots, we'll see that we are in a plot to kill the King of France. Now, plot power is 26.3%. What does this mean? Well, basically, there are several marks you can get to a plot power, and each one means something else. So, 50% means the plot can happen at all. Basically, 50% means that there is a chance of this plot happening. 100% means that the plot is 3 times as likely. So say you're at 60%, if you get your plot power up to 100%, you're 3 times as likely to get it to happen. If you get to 150% plot power, you are then another 3 times more likely for it to happen. And then if you get to 200%, you are then another 3 times more likely for it to happen. So, this means that basically you want to get a lot of plot power. And that's fairly self-explanatory in terms of how it works. So, if we have a look here, this shows the people we can potentially invite. So what it means by potentially invite, this is not a list of everybody who could possibly join the plot. This is a list of everybody who is likely in some way to, this is like the X number of people who are most likely to join the plot and who you might want to join the plot. So, you'll see next to each of their names, or each of their faces, they have a little plot, a little number. This is their plot power. So this is how much they could contribute to the plot. And then you see here, we have a little, thumbs down. Now, there is a thumbs up one, and there is another one which is like a little hand. And we'll talk about those in a second. But basically, that's whether they'll join the plot or not right now. So, plot power is made up of basically a bunch of different things. Main one being intrigue. Higher intrigue, the better they are at plotting. Next one would be like their position. So say they are a spy master, they would have a lot of plot power. Say they are the person's wife, they would have a lot of plot power, that kind of thing. And that's basically how it's calculated. There's some other stuff in there, but you don't need to know it. It's basically, if they're in a position of power, they're more likely to have stuff. So we actually have 26.3% from ourselves. This is because we are, I think it's because we're a powerful vassal of our liege. Oh, we're also Master of the Horse of France. I didn't even notice we had that title, but apparently we're Master of the Horse. So that also gives us some plot power. Basically, it's because we're good at intrigue and we're in a position of power. That's why we have 26. Now, what we want to do is we want to get people in the plot. Their plot power will add to ours, and then that will increase the chances of things happening. So, we can get this guy in right now. And if we tick this button, it would also invite everybody with a green thumbs up, because they would automatically join, they'd have no problems with it. And that would get us to 31%. Now remember, I said we needed to get to 50% for it to actually happen. We could also, you see the guy with a little hand? Like a little kind of weird grabby hand? This means that this guy, I suppose I should just hover him, this guy right here, this means that if we gave him a bribe, he would join. So right now, if we were to bribe this guy, that would put us up to 37% plot power, right? So everybody else has a thumbs down. And if we hover over it, we can see why. So this guy, he does not want to join the plot, because although he's immoral, and he kind of likes us, these are his positive reasons to do it, he actually really likes King Philippe, so he doesn't want to kill this guy. Fair enough. Now, you'll look at this list and you'll see there's a whole bunch of people, and there are some people in power. There's a court physician, there's a couple of commanders, right, things like that. But the one that we're missing is Spymaster. He's not on the list, and Spymaster is in a really good position to kill him. So we are going to go over here. Well, we're going to go to our council. We're going to go to our liege's council, and we're going to have a look at his Spymaster. So we have Spymaster Gulhem. And he has lots of intrigue. He has a lot of plot power he could get. He's in a really good position. We could invite him to the plot. We can do it manually. We right click on his face, we go invite to plot, and we can hover over the reasons. So he would not join it because political concerns versus King Philippe. What this means is that he would not kill King Philippe because he is greatly aligned with King Philippe's current political stance, if you know what I'm meaning. Like, he really, really likes King Philippe's way of doing things. He is immoral. He also really, really likes King Philippe. So that's the reason why he's not on the other list, is because he really, really does not want to join the plot. Now what we could do is we could try and kill him. And basically this is what we can do. We can try and kill people who are in positions of power who like King Philippe, until King Philippe puts people in those positions of power who don't like him as much. And then we have a chance of killing him. So, let's have a look here. If we were to plot to kill the Spymaster, we have a 31% potential plot power. So that's the same as previously, but it means there are more people in it. So we can't kill the Spymaster. He's not in a position to be killed. We also could potentially try and get it so King Philippe's wife doesn't like him. Unfortunately, King Philippe is not yet married. This is a problem. If King Philippe gets married, we can perhaps turn his wife against him and get some extra plot power there. That's something we can do. We could also try and get on the council ourselves. That would greatly increase our base plot power, and it might mean that we can push it above 50, and then when we get extra people in it, they can help out actually killing him. So is there anybody who we can kill on the council who we could then replace? Let's have a look here. We have 15 marshal. That's reasonably good. Is there anybody on the council who we could get rid of? Probably the marshal guy, right? He is 12 marshal. If we were to kill him, there's a chance that we could get on the council. So, chance to kill him, 42%. Still not high enough, but almost there. We're almost there. I actually want to check this one. I want to see whether there is anybody else who will join. So, we have one person who will join. That gives us 8%. That puts it up to 41. We have a couple more who will join with bribes. We can get over 50. So anybody with a lot of plot power. We'll sort this by plot power. Charles has the most. He'll give us 16. So it's still not reasonable for us to get over 100. So we can't get that extra 3 times as likely chance to get the plot to fire. But this is more like it. However, I'm not going to try and kill this guy. And there's a very good reason for it. we would have to spend money to get people into the plot, and he already has a cough. So if he dies, we don't need to do anything. We don't even need to plot against him. I'm just going to cancel that plot as well. So we don't need to try plotting against them. And there's a reason why we wouldn't. It's like, you could argue, why wouldn't you just start the plot anyway? I mean, even if there's a really low chance of firing, it may work, right? Well, plots also have a negative thing. The longer they go on, the more chance there is of somebody giving away that you're in a plot against them, and that can lead to bad things. You can be branded dishonorable, you can be excommunicated. It's a bad thing to be found out. So if you don't need to be in a plot, you probably shouldn't be in a plot. Another person we could potentially get rid of on our Liege's Council is Duke William II, the Bastard of Normandy. He is, however, attacking King Harold II of England in the Norman Conquest, and this will, as it's an event that we already know about, if he wins the war, this will put him as the King of England, and he will no longer be an advisor. So we might be able to take his position for doing absolutely nothing as well. So basically, what I'm getting at here is there's not really much we can do with this weak claim, but it's worth looking at the options. Next one, righteously imprison Count Hughes. Well, we're not going to do that because, well, actually our council would vote yes on that now, which is nice. Previously they were voting no, but we don't want to imprison him. We only have a 51% chance, and if we were to not capture him, he would raise up his 2,000 troops against us, and that would not be good. That would really, really not be good. So we're going to continue spying on him, and we're just going to try and see if we can get any dirt on him, see if we can perhaps kidnap him, something like that. Okay, next one, vassal levies raised too long. Nothing we can do about that. That's basically, people just generally don't like that we had vassal levies raised. If we don't have the levies raised, they'll be happy again. Next one is we need to put in a commander. Commander we need to put in is gonna be one of these guys. We have nobody who's in a position to be a good commander. Well, we can fix that, can't we? We can promote a commander using this event from the Intrigue tab, and that will give us a new commander. So do we want this guy as our commander? I mean, he's not really very good, but you know what? We'll put him in. There we go. We have bought ourselves a new commander. He looks pretty badass, but you know, he's not actually that good because he has no special commander traits. And the last one is our council's discontent, and that's basically just because we inherited not that long ago. So really, our best option is just to wait. But we can be a little bit proactive. We're going to go to our council here. And right now we have a chance they're on performing statecraft. That's all very well and good. But we want some land. We want to actually get something. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up the Kingdom of France using the direct vassals map mode. So control left click. We're going to see who's nearby us. We have Borgs. He's all alone. He is a single province person. That's who we're looking for. Looking for someone who's all on their own. I'm going to click on him. We see he has 700 men. If we had a claim on his title, it would be great. We could declare it, we would be underneath us, we'd be more powerful. So, I'm going to go to fabricate claim on Borgs. And the last thing we're going to check is we're going to go to the factions tab. We're just going to see if anybody is in any factions. So, there are no factions in the Duchy of Burgundy, which is good. Factions in the Kingdom of France, increased council power. This is Duke Joffrey is pushing that forward. We could start a faction. Start all sorts of factions. We could do seniority succession in France. We could push for us to be in charge of France. You know what? Let's make a faction. We're going to push ourselves in charge of France. We would like to say, I would like to lead France. So, hopefully what will happen here is people may join this faction, and then once we get enough people in it, we can fire the faction and we can declare war for us to be in charge of France. And we're just going to leave it there. Factions are basically a group of people join. They all say, we are going to put forward this motion to the king. If the king accepts it, then all very well and good. If the king does not accept it, then we will declare a war. So that's basically what a faction is. So we can start one, we could join one, we could join this faction if we wanted to. But we're not going to. But basically, anybody can now join it. If they're discontented with our liege, they can join our faction. Right, and now we're going to unpause the game. I'm just going to sit here and wait for things to happen. My wife tells me that she is pregnant, but that can't be right, can it? So we're going to click on ourselves. We are not paranoid, so that means that there is a chance our wife has been, sleeping with someone else. I'm going to say doubt besets me, and this will lead to another event further along the line. Okay. I have thought it over, and I cannot be the father of my wife's baby. As it grows in her belly, I have trouble sleeping. I must put this matter to rest, so we can either hire someone to find out, so this gives us the chance of finding who she's been sleeping with, or we can say we trust her word. What this will mean is that any children she has from that will end up being like legitimately one of our children. Right, apologies for that. The game did crash, but if we join the faction again, that's the only thing that we did before the game crashed. Join the faction. We can now unpause it and see what happens. Right. So, we get the same wife is pregnant event. Now, we should get the next one. We're going to hire someone to find out. We're going to spend the gold, just so I can see what the rest of the event line is, or so I can show you what the rest of the event line is. Right. So, the maid I hired to gain my wife's confidence has not found anything suspicious at all about her pregnancy. We can say, that's a relief, this will end it. We can say, I must know, so I will confront her, or I will hire more spies. Now, because we are not paranoid, we are fairly certain that there is a chance that she has been sleeping with someone else. So, hiring more spies, this one will, I believe, give you a higher chance of actually finding out stuff. I must know, I'll confront her directly. This will depend on her traits and how she feels about things, whether she'll be honest about it. She isn't deceitful or anything, so there's a chance she might just tell us. I think that's how it works. Anyway, some of these events are very similar, and then that's a relief just says, oh well, that's fine. So I will confront her directly. I'm not having much luck spying on Count Hughes. Well, we are just going to say, I'm sure he's up to something. And keep that line going. My wife started crying when I asked her if she's being unfaithful. She profusely assures me of her undying love, virtue, and steadfastness. So, our opinion of her goes down because we suspect adultery, but it randomed out that she decided to tell us that she is not being adulterous. So, okay. That's fine. And now we'll just continue waiting. It looks like the Holy Roman Empire is sieging some land over here. It is unfortunate. It's getting very close to our land. We'd prefer if he didn't siege our land. That's fine. Oh, I forgot to get the extra commander as well. Let's promote the commander. Now, Onfrey, who is just as bad as the previous one, but we've now promoted that commander. Right. Next one, child is lacking a childhood focus. Beatrix. Well, in terms of childhood focus, she seems to be fairly high up on learning. Maybe we'll encourage that. Maybe we'll go for faith. We'll get her idolizer. There we go. Maybe she'll be zealous. Maybe she'll be a nun or something. I don't know. There we go. And then we have our heir. Our heir we're going to spend a little bit more time on. He actually has an illness right now. He's got malaise. It's hard to say what's wrong. They just don't feel well. Alright, know the feeling. So we're going to click on that. And we'll see several different things we can go for. So we can give him a diplomatic education, where if he is affectionate or curious, he'll do well. He is affectionate. Affectionate can lead into kind, content, or trusting. He is not curious, and he's not willful or fussy, so this would be good. We give him learning, but because he's brooding, this would be bad. We can give him martial, but because he is timid, this would be bad. Give him intrigue, but because he's affectionate, would be bad. Or we can give him stewardship, which because he's brooding, it would be good. And he's not indolent or haughty, so he would be fine there. Now, I think I'm going to try and give him diplomatic. Now, his diplomacy isn't very good, but what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and get the diplomacy up. His stewardship's already reasonable, and I quite like kind, and I don't really like content and trusting. So we'll see if we can get that up. So we'll give him diplomatic as an education thing. And we're going to choose someone else to educate him. Our diplomacy is only 2. So we're going to find somebody with higher diplomacy and we'll educate him in that. So let's assign in a guardian to him. I'm going to look up here. We're going to look for people of high diplomacy. So we could the highest person in our court for diplomacy is Mayor Guy. And he has 16 diplomacy. So that could be fairly good. We could have that mayor do it. But what we can also do is we can go to the character finder here. We can search all. We're going to say yes, diplomatic range. So this is only people we can interact with. Then we're going to look for somebody with high. We're just going to sort it by diplomacy straight away. Then we're going to find that if we really want to go diplomacy, we could choose someone like this or someone like this to educate them. So let's say let's narrow it down. Let's choose people only of my religion, so that way they won't change his religion. Let's have a look here. We're going to find that there are many people who could educate him, but if we have a look down the list, we can find that there are lots of people with really good stats and all the different stuff. This guy looks really good. He's got 21 diplomacy, he's got 16 martial, he's got 15 stewardship. He's not so good in intrigue, and he's got reasonable learning. So I think if he educated our son would do very well. So we're going to see if we can get our son educated by him. So we're going to say, can you educate our son yourself? There we go. He will say yes. Now the problem is Hughes might become Italian. Now this is actually a major problem. If Hughes became Italian, people would dislike him. So what we're going to do is we're going to change it to my culture. Now we're only looking at French people who are Catholic. Right. Just reset the list there to make sure it's correct. Now we're looking for the same kind of stuff. And there we go. We have this guy. This guy will do. He's got 18 diplomacy, 8 martial, 9 stewardship, but 22 intrigue, 23 learning. He will be great to educate our son. We will say, will you educate our son? And he will say yes. And the reason he says yes, we're the same realm, and he likes us. Fair enough, right? So we will say, okay, go and do that. So now, when we go to our son here, oh, we have to wait for him to accept. So we'll unpause. He accepts. Now, if we go to our son, we'll see his guardian is in fact the bishop. Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to end the episode here. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.